Hello, this is RICKY, the Android guy. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Android Weekly. Sorry, just fixing my mic here so you have better sound. And going to go over again every week what we do. And that is first answer all the articles that happened during the week and let you know the recent mobile news. Then go over live viewer questions that you may have had and email to me at asktheandroidguy@gmail.com. And after that, we will answer live viewer questions. So if you have a question, please leave it in the comment section down below, and then I will answer it as soon as I am able to. All right, just want to make sure you have the right mic here, just so it sounds better. And there we go. Okay, now let's go over the first article of the day, which is HTC finally gets a profit, guys. This is the first time that HTC has got a profit in over a year and a half. That's right, the company has continuously had losses, so this is a pretty big deal. I'll do it without my glasses. This is a pretty big deal, and it's hurt them in a lot of ways. Just consistently losing money on terms of what they spent versus what they're getting back, and finally they're in the black now. Now, will this be a reverse trend? Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see to see how they do in Q3. Because here's the thing, everyone that wanted an HTC essentially probably has an HTC right now at this point. So will people continue to buy HTC? Well, that's really the question that we'll have to see in Q3. Now in Q2 they did get a $75 million profit. However, in the first quarter of this year, they had a $62.8 million loss. So for those of you counting at home, that's about a $7 million in profit so far, which for a company that is that big is not very good at all. So for the year, is it better than last year? Absolutely. The only time last year they were able to gain positive numbers was when they sold their shares of Beats, which, as most people know, if they had sold their shares when the recent deal went down between Apple, then they would have got a lot more money. Billions more, actually. So yes, it's good news, definitely. I'm still skeptical. As most of you know, I thought that HTC, unfortunately, because I do love the company, and I mean they started Android, so you have to love the company. Unfortunately, I just don't see them. I don't see them being around in by the end of 2015. I do not see them being a contender anymore. Let's just say that. That's and I could be wrong, and hopefully I am, but from what I've seen, it just doesn't seem like it's going to be good. All right, early Android L tests show battery life has improved dramatically, and what I mean by dramatically is some sites have reported up to a 28% better battery life, which is insane if you really think about it. I mean, 28% better than before it's a significant boost. Some reported at least 15, but no matter what, that means that now you are going to have a better battery life than before, which is really, really good. And it's something, battery life is something that's huge because it's something that we all can relate to. We all want a better battery life than we have. That's just always consistent and continuous. We always want a better battery life than we have. So if we can get better battery life, that's great. And Microsoft's Wearable is looking like it's going to go the Apple route and essentially be more of a fitness companion. So I think this has been a mistake for, I mean, look, Apple's going to do this. Apple's going to do this. Android obviously did not do this, and Microsoft looks like it's going to do it as well. I think this is a mistake. I think users want more that they can do than just fitness, and I believe you're limiting yourself far too greatly if that's all you're going to do. So that's in my opinion. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that smartwatches should be more towards fitness, or do you think it should do everything you want it to do? For me, I can't wait. I'm getting my Android Wear device this week, so I will be getting the which one is it? The Gear Live. That was my preferred out of the two. The G Watch, just for not being able to see in the sunlight, I couldn't bring myself to do it, and also not to mention for the fact that the big thing that of course everyone's waiting for is the Moto 360, and this is kind of just going to tide me over till then. But I do like that the Samsung Light Gear Live also had changeable straps. That was a big thing that after doing it on my Gear, I need changeable. I need to change the straps so that it has more personality. So it's just better that way to me. All right, and right now you can volunteer to be a beta tester for Android Office or Microsoft Office on Android. So you can be a tester on it, which is really cool. I'm currently thinking about this. My biggest concern with this is Microsoft Office to get 360 it's not going to happen. Microsoft, it's just not, and simply for the fact that $100 a year is just asking too much for a tablet version. It just really is. Now I get it. You can have this on 5 devices, and that's supposed to make it worth it. But I mean, this would skyrocket if they charged they could charge $30 for this, and everyone would buy it. If it was $30, one-time fee, everyone would buy it. Even if you wanted to do, on a per-device basis, like you can only have one device activated on the tablet version or the phone version, then I still think it would do much better than $100 for 5 devices per year. It's just asking for too much. So yeah. And then finally, one of the biggest deals that just happened was that Canon and Microsoft have signed a patent licensing agreement. Now, what does this? Everyone speculates this means. It's obviously going to be about Nokia and their cameras. So let me put it this way: as an ex-photographer, I am the hugest Canon advocate. I believe if you want the best photo taking experience, you're going to use Canon. Now, Canon lenses to me aren't the most magnificent thing ever. Nikon's known for their lenses, not Canon. Canons are used by NASA, so they're not that bad. But what truly makes Canon amazing is their image processor. Their Digic 5, Digic 6, all these image processors are what makes your photos so amazing on a Canon. If they're able to bring image processing technology on a micro level that we have on cell phones, man, I will seriously take a look at Windows for photography, because that is impressive. I have long over said that if any company on Android is able to take this, then it would be a huge advantage. So will it happen? We'll see. I would be very excited to see if this happens. Sorry, guys. Trying to get better Wi-Fi for you guys. So I would be really interested to see if this happens. I frankly do not think it will. All right, guys. Now I'm going to answer the viewer questions that were emailed to me during the week. If you have a question, ask it at asktheandroidguy@gmail.com, and I will answer it on next week's episode. So let's go to the questions. And this one's a really interesting one. It's one that I get very often from people who are like, "How do you do this on YouTube?" And it was basically from Kid Tech, and he asked, "Hi, just wanted to ask you about how do you get money to buy those phones and tablets? How do I get money to get this? The S5 Active and the Note 3 and the HTC One M8 and the Tab S, all these different devices. How do I get the money to get this?" So, to those of you who don't know, you get money on YouTube for doing these videos, for you guys giving thumbs up, for me getting subscribers, for all of the things you watch generates money for the people you are watching. So it really is like you are supporting the people that you are watching. So that is one of the things. And people always ask me, how does it work? How does the YouTube thing work? To put it very tiny, you get money per 1,000 views. So everything per 1,000 views you get money for. That's why those videos that are like millions and millions of videos, when they say, oh, this person made $500,000 last year on YouTube, that is by far possible because they're getting millions and millions of views every month. That's definitely possible. I am obviously not in that realm. That would be amazing if I did. I could quit my day job if it was. But it really is, so you get money from them, and then you also get people that send you things. So I get to review them and tell you how good they are, would I recommend it, or would I buy it. One I actually recently just did, let me take this off so I can show you, is this one, Luga Lake, which I've heard really, really good things about. Just sent me a stand, and I have not opened it yet. I literally just got it as of yesterday, so I cannot wait to review it and see how well it does. It's supposed to be really good, and it's supposed to be good size for tablets, so I'm interested to see how it does. But yeah, so that's how we get these devices. Once you get to a certain level, you can ask for devices, and companies will send you stuff. So that is essentially how it works, how the game is played, as I say. Now, when I first started this channel, I was losing money because I was buying products, and I sold them eventually, like at a discounted rate, so I lost $50 here, $100 here. But what I wanted to do was to create a channel where people could actually know how to use the products that they buy, and also a channel that actually where someone knew what the hell they were talking about with Android. For those of you who don't know, in my synopsis and everything that I always say about my channel, the reason why I got into Ask the Android Guy was because I was seeing people on The Verge, on Gizmodo, and on these really, big sites where you think that they would know everything, and they were like, oh yeah, the iPad can do this. Too bad that the Galaxy, too bad that this Samsung tablet, this Asus tablet can't do that. And I would be screaming at the screen, yes it can, you moron. And so I end up saying, look, I think I can do a better job. And that's how the Android Guy was started. And 1,000 videos plus later, this is where we're at. So yeah, so that is how all of this works. And yes, YouTube has recently actually added a feature where we can raise money. So say like if you guys wanted me to get, say, the OnePlus, if you guys wanted me to get the OnePlus phone, I could do like, all right, let's let anyone that wants me to get this phone, we're trying to raise $400 so I can get this phone and get it. That would obviously allow me to get a lot more devices. I still don't know how that'll work, and it's a question that I think I would pose to the channel at one point. Would you guys support that? Like, $5 here, $5, from everyone, and if it does well, then yes, we can get more devices. I'm all for that. I mean, obviously, I can only get so many devices if they're not sent to me. I literally, spend $800 on this device, $400 on this device, $500 on this device, and it adds up. Even with the money that I make from YouTube, I don't gain that much of a profit at this point because right now I rather reinvest into the channel to get things for you guys. So that is how it goes. That is how everything happens. Transparency. Just try to do that for you. Georges asked. He commented on, a lot of your last YouTube videos seemed a little bit like not so illuminated, like that they weren't, like the lack of lighting during the recording. What's going on with this? I really noticed on your Galaxy Tab S 10.5 videos. I can't wait till there's a Note S 10.5. That's a really interesting concept. So I think I'm going to get the Tab S, put it on sale with the Note. I think I'm going to buy the Tab S and put it on sale when the Note S 10.5 come out. That's pretty funny. So yeah, for those of you guys that don't know, I've commented this on my channel before, that I am currently in the process of moving. For those of you guys saw last week's video and then see this week's video, I don't have my dresser there. I had a whole dresser there before, no longer there. So yes, because of this, I have not recorded any videos this past week. I'm not recording any videos this next week, and it's all because of this move. It's taken a lot out of me, and I almost didn't record tonight, but I wanted to make sure I got one recording in for you guys while the internet is set up at my new place, which I'm moving to. Now the good thing is that a new place, when you see the background, it'll be a lot nicer. I have an entire area set up for my studio recording. That I have a whole room where I'm just going to record videos for you guys. It'll be great, lighted. Basically, I recorded all the 10.5 videos in this room. So, you know, I had my light above me, and that was it. That's why the lighting was very poor, and it will not be that way in the upcoming videos. So that's important to know. Sorry again for that. It's just a transition phase, unfortunately, and because I didn't feel they were up to my standards, I will not be doing any more videos this week until I have my studio properly set up for the good quality that we have gotten to at Ask the Android Guy. All right. Kevin asks, I have an S4 and will be upgrading soon. I didn't get the S5 because I wanted to wait for the Note 4. Do you think the Note 4 will be worth the wait? If you were to ask me, would I buy the S5 right now or wait for the Note 4? I am a techie that loves to upgrade, so I would wait for the Note 4. I currently am waiting for the Note 4 as my personal phone that I'm going to spend my upgrade on, simply for the fact that the S5 never got the 32 gig version. I cannot have a 16 gig version. Even with a micro SD card, I cannot have the 16 gig version. I need a 32 gig model. Because the S5 never got a 32 gig model, I will be getting the Note 4, which most likely will be standard at 32 gigs. I think Samsung did hurt themselves by not creating a 32 gig model S5. Maybe their sales reflected that the S4 32 gigs didn't sell that well. I would have still done it simply for people like me. You're never going to get techies if you don't have a 32 gig model, in my opinion. This is just plain and simple. Your competitors are doing it, you should be doing it. That's just my example. But yes, will the Note 4 be worth the wait? Absolutely. You're going to have the Snapdragon 805 processor on there most likely. You're going to have a 2K display on there most likely. You're most likely going to have Android L, which, if that happens, sign me up. You know, if it is one of the first devices to get Android L, I'm in love. I'm in love. That'll be the perfect phone for me. There is no other competition in my opinion. If the Note 4 has Android L and all of those upgrades, it's perfect. So yes, Chun Ho Chow asks, do you believe the Galaxy F or new Galaxy phone like the S5 would be announced together with the Note 4? So I was right when I predicted that the Galaxy S5 Prime was the LTE version. I was right at predicting that, and it ended up being true. Now you see all these sites saying, "Oh, we have the S5 Prime," when it's actually the LTE, and it's because they're saying, "Oh, well, this was the Prime." But there is still rumors, and there was, supposedly a leak this week of the Galaxy F, a metal body Galaxy, essentially. If it is going to be announced, it would be with the Note 4, and simply because of this reason. If iPhone is having two phones, why wouldn't Samsung? And that's the thing. If iPhone really is having a 4.7 inch and a 5.5 inch, well, doesn't the Galaxy F 5.1 inch phone sound competitive to the 4.7? And the Note 4 with probably 5.7, 5.8, 5.9 inch screen sound competitive to the 5.5 iPhone? You will have a battle royale, essentially. And you will have every consumer, more than ever, coming into those stores, to all these carrier stores, and asking, which one should I get? The iPhone, the Galaxy F, the iPhone 5.5, the Note 4. I don't know which one to get. I want one. Now, the thing about that, of course, is if they do release a Galaxy F series phone, you have to wonder that that's going to hurt Note 4 sales. Because right now, I'll tell you, every store I go into, people are not asking about the Galaxy F. They're asking about the Note 4. They want the Note 4. The Note series has taken off, in my opinion, and as a secondary line, because you have to remember, the S series far outsells every other phone. The Galaxy S series outsells every other phone, but the really interesting thing is will a Galaxy F be more beneficial to Samsung as a company, or will just having a Note 4 be more beneficial? This is the curiosity that I'm curious about. And the only reason, again, that I would say is that I could see Samsung doing an F-series phone is for two reasons. One, to compete with the iPhone. Two, if the Note 4 really does have a bendable display, they can't have that many quantities. They're not going to be able to mass produce it as well as they have in the past on other devices. So how can you offset that? Well, you can have a metal Galaxy phone that also will sell like crazy, and then you're going to have two high-end devices matching up with Apple, blow for blow. And, well, not even, it'll exceed Apple's, obviously. Apple's hardware is nothing impressive. It'll exceed Apple's hardware entirely, and people are really going to wonder, should I get an iPhone or should I get the Samsung? And that will be impressive. All right, and the last question. Sorry, guys, went off on that for a little bit, but a lot of people have been asking me about that one, so I wanted to answer it. Again, if you have a question, ask it in the comment section down below, and I will answer it after this one. What was your name? Swissity? Hopefully I pronounced that right. So Swissity did a long paragraph essentially asking about, can an MHL 2.0 adapter, like the one I've shown you guys that I have, can it work with his Note 10.1 2014 edition even without a power adapter to a monitor? So here's a long story short, because he was saying that a Samsung rep told him that he couldn't, and listen, and I've been in retail before, and this is what happens. If a Best Buy rep, Samsung rep, AT&T rep, Verizon, whoever, if any of these reps ever tell you, oh no, that won't work, you have to still use a power adapter, or oh no, I don't think that'll wirelessly connect to your device, because it's always better to lower expectations than to raise them. Because if you lower it and it works, then you're happy. If you raise them and it doesn't work, then you're pissed off. So this is why reps do those kind of things. And don't get me wrong, I was guilty of it a long time ago, but what I started to change is I started to realize, okay, I need to know this, I need to know this, I need to know this. So that's what ended up happening. As for your question, yes, MHL 2.0 adapters do not need that external connection even when connected to a monitor. It will be fine. However, you brought up a point of, like, why would I buy an MHL 2.0 adapter if I'm going to have to use a power source? If I have to use a power source, I'm going to get an MHL adapter. Well, actually, MHL 2.0 also did make a more consistent connections, especially with Samsung devices, because of their extra pins. Samsung's use 9 pins instead of 5 pins on their micro USB. So because of that, it was a stronger connection, so it will actually be more consistent as well. So even if you had needed a power source external, I would still have chosen an MHL 2.0 over, just to have a more consistent and clear picture. But yes, so hopefully that helps out, and yeah, you can do it no problem to that ASUS monitor, and you'll be fine. All right, guys, hopefully that answered your questions, and now let's see them on the comment section. All right, Eve Hill and Meredith, I see your questions. I will answer those, and if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comment section down below. Hey, all right, so what's up, Meredith? What's up, Eve Hill? For those of you guys asking questions, let's see. If you chose one phone out of the LG G3, the S5 LTE, or the Oppo Find 7, which would you choose? Honestly, that's a very easy choice for me. Now, let me preface this with, it depends on what country you're in. The G3 is going to be pretty much the best hardware-based, well, no. Hardware, yeah. It's one of the best hardware-based phones in the U.S. by far. It rivals the Samsung, definitely. where it lacks the camera. It has the better screen. Well, the LG has the better screen density, but you can't see it outside. I've actually talked to an LG rep, and they're really trying to figure that out because we went outside with his G3, and you cannot see it outside. Period. It just sucks outside. So the Oppo Find 7 is obviously a very good contender. Again, this isn't in the U.S. at all, so this is a very tough choice, right? Between them all, for me, the reason why I say it would be easy is because it would have to be the Samsung Galaxy S5 LTE, and this is why. It has every feature of the S5, but it has the Snapdragon 805 processor. That processor, plus the 32 gigs of storage, plus the 3 gigs of RAM, plus the 2K display, that loses no battery. It loses no battery when comparing to the regular S5. This has been tested and proven now. The S5 LTE is no difference in battery life, even with that twice as dense screen. And the reason is because of the Snapdragon 805 processor. It really has made that just a wonder. So yes, it would be easy choice. If I can get one phone right now, it would be the Samsung Galaxy S5 LTE. Your thoughts on Android TV? I want it. I am moving right now currently, and I'm trying to figure out, how I'm going to connect all my devices and TVs and all that stuff. And the one thing I want is Android TV, because I want to have that in every room, quite frankly. And I have a Samsung Smart TV, but the Smart TV's interface is nothing compared to Android TV. Plus, one huge flaw that YouTube has on these Smart TVs, PS3, Smart Blu-rays, all these smart devices is YouTube cannot play my purchased YouTube videos, meaning my videos that I have purchased through Google Movies, which honestly is the main way that I get movies, and I can't get them. So this causes a huge problem for me, and this is why Android TV is so special to me. Now, will I buy the high-end one from Razer, and they're going to put top specs in it and a gaming controller? Absolutely, because I'm a gamer as well. And if they put in, an NVIDIA Tegra K1 in there, I'm sold. So we'll wait and see which one gets Android TV. Asus will probably make the most affordable one. I think LG was another one that was making it, and lots of different companies are going to make Android TV. But the one I'm concerned in is definitely with the gaming controller, with allowing me to see all my movies from my movies from the Google Play Store. All of those, that's what I want. After my upgrade to 4.4, Kronos DB asked, after my update from 4.4 KitKat on my Galaxy S4, I left an unknown app called Ant Plus and Ant Plugin. What are they? What do they do? Also, you claim the HTC lost money with the M8, but now we hear different. So you had two questions essentially, Kronos. What Ant Plus and Ant Plugin, that is, it makes your phone compatible with all fitness devices. So the fitness standard for Bluetooth connection accessories is Ant Plus. So Ant Plus is connected through those through that process. So this means, like, say around my area, that they're starting to have these Bluetooth, Bluetooth ellipticals, Bluetooth treadmills, Bluetooth stairmasters, all that kind of stuff. And essentially, this would connect to your device, and that's how it would work. So that's what that is. Also, I claim that HTC lost money with the M8, but now we hear different. I said that HTC was not selling M8s, and they haven't been. The M8, it has not been a top seller. What has kept them afloat has been their Desire series that's not sold in the U.S. Those have been selling very well as mid-range devices overseas. But the M8 has not been a highly successful device. It's not sold like 10 million, 5 million, nowhere near. So HTC One M8 has not lost them money. It's not really gained them money though either. What is clear though is that HTC is in the black, and it's because HTC said at the beginning of the year themselves, we're going to focus more on mid-range devices because our high-end devices are not selling as we would have hoped, and that's what happened. So yeah. Zachariah asks, any news on the Nexus 4 will get the Android L update? No, the Android L update is a beta right now. You have to understand that it's a beta. So these come out. I mean, you can download it right now. You can download it right now, but it's a beta. So Android L is named Android L because it does not have the lollipop, licorice, whatever they're going to name, and lifesaver, whatever they're going to name Android L. It doesn't have the official name yet because it's in beta. That's why they're just calling it Project L. Sorry, guys, I've been talking 30 minutes straight, so lose a little bit. All right. So yeah, so that's Zachariah. That's the problem. You can download it right now. You can download Project L right now, but it's a beta. It's gonna have glitches, and you might want to wait. All right. Wayne asked, since the updated Android 4.4.4, occasionally when I open my settings tab on the Note 3, it opens up my home. So your settings tab opens up behind your home screen, and I have to restart my phone. What is causing this? That's a very good question. Oh, that makes more sense. You said first you said 4.4.4. I'm like, what? The Note doesn't have 4.4.4. Am I missing something? No, so you updated to 4.4.2, and the settings tab is coming up behind your home screen? I am not sure, to be honest. That is something that I would kind of have to see in person. What you can do is what I always tell people to do. If an app is acting weird, go into your settings, go under App Manager, and clear cache and force stop settings, and force stop and clear cache on your TouchWiz Home. TouchWiz Home. What these will do is these will basically reset the app to default, and hopefully that will fix it. Please let me know if it does or doesn't. If it doesn't, the thing I always say, unfortunately, is take your Samsung device, plug it into the computer. Samsung Keys will come up. If you connect to Samsung Keys, it will back up your device, wipe it, restore it. That's worst case scenario, but try just going to Application Manager first and resetting the app to factory reset. So yes. All right, keep getting in those questions. Keep asking them. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments section down below. All right, Meredith asks, have you heard of the Krios Meteor smartwatch? If so, what are your thoughts? I haven't. Let's see. I will look this up live. Krios Meteor smartwatch. Oh, is this supposed to be Microsoft's? Or no? Oh, it's just saying it like has Windows on it. Okay, this is going a little slow. I see. This is a startup. This is a startup phone that hit their goal, I might add. So let's see. What's special about this? So compared to the Pebble, it is the same kind of screen, same battery life. It works with Windows 8. It has more languages. It has a gyrometer. It has gesture control. That's the main thing. So yeah, I like how they're not comparing it to the Gears. So yeah, this looks good. The problem with Kickstarters is Kickstarters at this point are a bit behind. And for those of you who don't know, what was. Let me pull this out. For those of you who don't know about this watch, this is it, just so you can see what I was looking at. So essentially, it's controlled with gestures, with voice. It's one of the only smartwatches you can use on Windows 8, so it's very liked for that reason. It seems rather cool. You could definitely go in the water deeper than you can with any other device. 5 meters is pretty impressive. But yeah, so this is the device for $169. It's interesting. I don't. The problem with this kind of device is, again, by the time you would get it, it's already, you have better devices out on the market. So that's the main problem with Kickstarters. Is Kickstarters like Pebble were ideal because they came out before the big companies did. Literally, when Pebble came out and made that much money, it made Samsung, Google, and Apple like, what? People are making money without us. We have to do this. And that's what happened essentially. So that is what happened to cause that. Zachariah asked, I have an iPhone 5, want to move to Android. I'm confused. Should I go for the Moto X or the HTC One Mini? Because I prefer smaller devices. The HTC One, because see, Zachariah, here's the thing. Like, I know you want a smaller device. I get it. I get that. But you have to be cautious on Android because, unfortunately, on Android, smaller devices generally mean not as good. So let me just do iPhone 5. So I'm going to do a quick comparison for you, sir. Let's compare the HTC One Mini. I would not personally get the Moto X right now. I would not. And why? Because the Moto X is going to be replaced soon. So maybe you might want to wait for a replacement for that. HTC One Mini. So they already have a Mini too. And supposedly it's coming to Verizon. So yeah, they supposed to come. Hey, Codeman, PSX, what's up? So yeah, they have a One Mini 2 already. Let's see your HTC One Mini. All right, so Zachariah, let's put them side by side for you and see which one is really better for you. So, whoop. Okay. So this is side by side. So comparing, this is the HTC One Mini that is currently out. This is the One Mini 2, which is going to come out, and this is the 5. So comparing into screen, you are upgrading a bit in screen quality right here. You are dramatically lowering, though, however, your camera quality in this. Now, in the iPhone 5, you did have an f2.4 lens, so this does let through more light in low light settings. But, I mean, the camera isn't, it's what everyone doesn't care for on the HTC One series, so just letting you know that. Your graphics card's decent. You're going to have a good amount of RAM in comparison. You have a good storage. This one, though, you cannot add on a micro SD card, whereas the new one you will be able to. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Also, the newer one that will be coming out has a quad-core processor instead of a dual-core. But one of the biggest differences is you have the selfie camera that everyone has fallen in love with. And that is that the 2 has a 5-megapixel camera and a 13-megapixel camera. So you have a much better camera selection on this one by far, not to mention a much better battery life in comparison. Although the HTC One Mini will be a better battery life than you currently have right now, the new one will double your battery life compared to your iPhone 5. So that's something you should note. Another thing you should note is that I know Samsung just announced, let's see, Samsung Galaxy. Samsung just announced their S5 Mini. Let's see how that compares for you too. So the S5 Mini will be water and dust resistant. It's going to have the same kind of screen quality, but it's AMOLED, so it'll last a bit better. It's going to have an 8 megapixel camera, which again, this camera is a 13 megapixel, but most likely this one will be better for the rear-facing camera. However, the front-facing camera will still be better on the HTC One Mini, the new one that's coming out. Processor and RAM are better on the Samsung, and battery life should be a little bit better simply for the fact of an AMOLED screen versus an LCD screen. So yeah, hopefully that helped, but that is a brief comparison on the mini devices right now. But I would either wait for the Mini 2, the HTC Mini 2, the Galaxy S5 Mini, or even Moto's new one that they're going to come out with. Personally, I would wait if you can. If you can wait, I would wait. The other thing I always make sure to let everyone know is that, just because this is a big screen, remember, on Samsung devices, you can always go like this, in, out, and now I have an iPhone 5 screen. Just that simple. So I can use this one-handed, and everything on the screen I can go to very quickly and very easily. So it's just something to keep in mind, that you can have the benefit of a big screen when you're watching your movies, yet when you need to use it one-handed very easily, that's fine. You just put it like this and you're good. Something that I always just like to let people know about because it does make a huge difference. Alright guys, it looks like that's all of the questions that we have for today. I will give a few more minutes. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to email me during the week at asktheandroidguy@gmail.com. Of course, if you do watch live and I answer them live, you have a much better chance of getting them asked. I definitely get way more viewer questions every week, so the best way to get them answered is watching live. Alright guys, thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. This has been RICKY, the Android Guy.